Hey everyone, it's VM Campos, comic book fan. Welcome to another episode of New Comics This Week. This is the show where I talk about the comic books that are coming out new this week. This is the show where I talk about the comics that you need to order at your local comic shops. Always support your local comic shops. By this Monday, October 19th. You've got to order them by that date to be guaranteed your copy of these. So these are pre-orders. With a catch, actually, which we'll get to in a moment. So welcome. If you're live, say hello in the chat. We do this every Saturday, 1 p.m. or so for 30, 40, 50 minutes or so. If you're watching this after the fact, don't forget to check out the description below for the various chapters so you can jump over to your various favorite publishers. Let's get started now. Whoops, my Twitter is blowing up over here. Ho-hum, so many people tweeting at me. The price of fame. Okay, so let's jump over to our comics. All right, so we're going to deal with the final order cutoff date. These are the dates that you need to order these comics that we're going to talk about for you to be guaranteed your copy at your local comic shop. Now, DC Comics has their final order cutoffs on Sundays. So tomorrow, October 18th, is when you need to order these DC Comics if you want your copy. Monday, the 19th, every other publisher is the deadline. So whenever you order these, if you order them early, you should be able to get your own copy. These are the ones that are coming out on October 27th, very soon. So make sure you put orders in for these comics. Now, we'll start with DC. We'll do all of them. Hey, Jack, how are you doing? Welcome to come over to the comic book chat. I do a comic book chat early in the day, and then I do the magic stream at night. So let's talk about comics. We'll start with DC Comics, first of all. So usually I already have prepped a variety of comics that I like. This week I'm going to do it slightly different in terms of we're just going to browse what's new, what's coming soon, and then we'll see what we all like. We'll start with DC. Now, I could have sworn that this cover right here, I could have sworn I've seen this cover before, like Superman all defeated like that with someone holding him like that. But anyway, this is Action Comics number 1026. Can you believe that? One of the longest running American comic books in history. Okay, but the ones that stood out for me, the final issue of Batgirl, the current Batgirl issue. There's been many Batgirl series, of course, and this is the latest one, so this is issue number 50, series finale. All good things must come to an end as we wrap up this run of Batgirl with one final oversized celebratory issue. In the aftermath of the Joker War, Gotham is left in pieces that need to be picked up by Barbara and Alejo's team. But is Gotham a city worth saving anymore? And how much longer does our girl have in her to keep fighting it as Batgirl? So this is an amazing cover, isn't it? This is by Joshua Middleton. Middleton has been making some amazing covers. Let's get a close-up of this one. There's a couple of covers here, as usual. Let's go in here, zoom in. We have the technology. Okay, here we go. Joker War, Collateral Damage. This is an amazing cover. Look at this. Don't you love like the realism of her face, her hair and such? But then there's also like the cartooniness of the Joker, but still realistic. So, yeah, issue number 50. This comes out on the 27th. If you want to reserve your copy, there's still time. You have to pre-order it by tomorrow. Contact your comic shops and tell them you want this book, or you go right here to UCS Comic Distributors and you'll get your copy. The alternate cover is this Rachel and Terry Dodson cover. What do you think about this one? This is obviously way more cartoonier than the Middleton realistic one. But Rachel and Terry Dodson are a married couple who's worked in comics for like 20 years, 25 years. I don't know how long. It's been a while. They originally, for example, worked on the original Harley Quinn limited series back in the year 2000. I have issue number 1 in my boxes over there somewhere. And they work with Marvel. They work with DC. It feels like they mostly work with DC, but you know, any comic publisher where you work at is good. And this is like a slightly older looking Batgirl than the Middleton one, I would say, but still a very cool style to it right there. So which one would you get? Would you get the Middleton realistic cover or the Dodson less realistic cover, but still really nice? Let's see, what else did I notice that stood out? Well, the Batman 3 Jokers 10 million variant covers are coming out, of course. We've got all of these Fabok covers. There's just so many to pick from, of course. We've got, each one has like its own style with its own name. Okay, that's just regular Joker cover. Then we've got the Red Hood cover. That looks epic. Then we've got the black and white one. Then we've got this purple one. That looks cool. Book 3 on there. Then we've got the Killing Joke Hawaiian style Hawaiian shirt. Then we've got the stand-up comedian cover. We've got the Endgame Mohawk cover. We've got the contact print cover. This is like, if you're, let me get a close-up of this one. If you're into old school photography, this is known as a contact print, where you put all of your film on contact with the enlarger, and then you get this like thumbnail of everything. So just like this amazing look at all of the various Jokers. There's the Death in the Family Joker, Red Hood, the Laughing Fish Joker, Elegant Joker, etc. So book 3 of the 3 Jokers series from the Black Label at DC. These are $6.99. A little bit more expensive, although there is the 1 to 450 variant cover. That means your comic shop has to order 450 copies of this book, of the regular cover, I think, before they will give them 1 copy of this. So most likely your shop, if they have a copy of this, is going to be selling this for like $400. So built-in scarcity, built-in expense. But anyway, there we go, the Batman 3 Jokers. I like this one-shot, Dark Knight's Death Metal Rise of the New God #1. This is a one-shot. Look at this epic cover. This cover by Boss Logic is really cool. Like, just look at that. It's very evocative, very evil. Very cool style on that. Batman always wins. This irrevocable truth resonates to the very heart of Perpetua's battle with the Batman who laughs. And when her ally reveals his absolute nature, she will upend his mantra and destroy the last planet. So a lot of epic stuff. Actually, wait a minute. I just noticed here, Final Order Cutoff Date 10/4. Yeah, I always have a hard time navigating this website because the first thing that it shows you is stuff that is no longer orderable. I keep forgetting that. Sorry about that. I'm hyping up all of these books, but these are the date already passed on these. This might be nitpicking, but you really miss Batgirl's cowl because you can't stand the domino mask. Yeah, you know, in the whole range of superhero outfits, the plain domino mask was like one of the original ones from like way back in the golden age, but I like the full cowl as well. The other extreme is, do you remember how the old Spider-Woman cowl was? It was completely covering her head, including her hair, which I thought looked weird. And then eventually when she got her own series #1, which I reread, then her hair came out of the cowl. So that's like, so yeah, this cover looks amazing. But I notice here, I'm looking at the wrong dates. This releases on the 27th, but the FOC is on the 4th. Whoops, so these have already been pre-ordered. Let's look over here. I swear, every time I have a little snafu on that. Here we go. No, wait, that's 10/11. FOC is 11. Why does this site still list dates that have passed? I could have sworn I already talked about these comics. Oh man, DC, after you quit from from Diamond, you screwed everything up. 1025. 1025. That's 1025. 1011. There we go. 1018. Okay, what am I looking at? So there we go. This is the right one. The 1110. I thought it was way too soon what I was saying before. This is what it is. Okay, final order cutoff is tomorrow for this batch of books, so never mind. That Batgirl book's already sold out. And so is that Batman book. These are the books from DC that are new to pre-order. Okay, let's look at them one more time. So there's a brand new series, American Vampire. Scott Snyder's the writer. Raphael Albuquerque is the artist. Here's the Albuquerque cover. This is issue number 2, coming out on the 10th. Final order tomorrow. Here we go. So Skinner, Pearl, and a surprising new ally team up to pull off their game-changing heist of the Freedom Train. But time is running out for a nation in crisis. The Beast's plan for mass terror and world domination is finally revealed in sick detail. And as humanity spirals toward extinction, there's a devastating twist. When an unexpected force returns to pick off the VMS's top officials, Travis and Cal discover the ultimate evil has competition, and the final battle will be more merciless than anyone imagined. That description is epic, of course. So this is another Black Label series, like a period piece, like noir sort of thing, crime noir. So here we have Lobo. This is a one-shot. You like Lobo? I was originally, when I was first reading comics, I was reading Spider-Man. And then as I was starting to fall off comics, then I got my first issue of Lobo for free at San Diego Comic-Con. And then I'm like, this is hilarious. It's so funny and so violent and so funny. And so then I started to read Lobo for several years back in the 90s. And he hasn't had his own series in a little while since the New 52, which I thought it was entertaining, but it was very controversial. People were saying that's not Lobo, he's too pretty. So anyway, they went back to the original biker Lobo, and here he's got his own Dark Knight's Death Metal Infinite Hour Extreme. This is the one shot. So pull up a chair, you bastages. It's time for Uncle Lobo's Infinite Hour. It's your chance to let the main man lobotomize you with familiar yet freaky stories of the DC Universe, exactly as he remembers them, with blood and guts and extreme gratuitous violence. Tell your comics guy to put you down for all the copies. Okay, so I'm definitely picking this one up. It's a one-shot. It features Lobo. We've got different variant covers. I'm probably going to get this one. I like this Raphael Grandpa cover. Grandpa or Grandpa? Grandpa, right? And this is like classic Lobo, kind of interesting contrast with such a tough-looking character, and then a pink background. But I think that's a fun contrast. And it looks like there's a lot of creators working on this. Thierry, Clunan, Humphreys, Kirkham, Morales, Cohen, Sienkiewicz, Prianto, Dalhouse, and Sotomayor. Ooh, I guess Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor took a little time off on being on Supreme Court to write this comic, right? So yeah, definitely getting this one. What do you think about all of these one-shots? All of these like mini anthology stories? I like them. I think sometimes there's like too much continuity that is hard to keep up to date with, so sometimes it's cool to just have a one-shot. So here we have The Flash, 765, the In-Hyuk Lee cover. Lee has been doing these amazing realistic covers that I love. You know, we've got the whole realm of realism. Alex Ross is like the big name in realistic comic art. But before that, of course, we had like Joe Jusko, the Hildebrandts, Olivia, etc. And then nowadays we've got a whole new generation of like realistic artists, and I've been enjoying the In-Hyuk Lee covers. I'm not reading Flash, but I see this cover and I love it. And we have Dr. Alchemy takes another step closer to unstoppable power, as he is wont to do. So once again, since I was all discombobulated, I didn't even see what was new. But okay, here we've got Punchline, the newest sensation in the Batman world, in the Joker world. Punchline, this is her one-shot. There's a variety of covers, of course. Here's a Frank Cho cover. He's been doing a lot of these like intricate, interesting covers that mix some black and white with color. And so you saw them a lot on the Harley Quinn series. That one just ended at issue 75. And so here we have, Cho's a good artist. It looks like he was like wallowing in invented controversy a few years ago with all of these sketch covers. I don't know if he's still doing them, but he would sketch these sketch covers for people at conventions on blank covers, generating fake controversy. It's kind of annoying, but I guess he's kind of like gotten a little bit more mainstream now. The people are like, hey, you're not funny with those things. But his art is good. I think the outfit is like way too tight. You see way too much of her musculature. I think that's going to be way too tight because it's not like spandex. She's got spandex plus another outfit. I don't think it's that tight. But anyway, that's just nitpicking. That's a new character. You haven't really been keeping up with DC, but you heard a few things on what's going on. Yeah, this is a brand new character that came out like 5 or 6 months ago on the Batman series. That book now is like expensive. And she, Harley Quinn was always associated with Joker, but then she kind of became her own character and got away from Joker instead of just being a sidekick. So here's a brand new Harley 2.0. I haven't been reading the book really, but I know that she's very popular. And so here's a one-shot issue number 1, all about her. Hey there, Draw Tencel. It's a pretty awesome cover, isn't it? Look at the contrast. It's like a Dürer painting from the Middle Ages compared with a modern style there. The other covers. Here's the regular cover. Here's the Yasmin Putri cover. It looks fine. Again, I don't know too much about the character. Anyone there in the chat know a little bit more about Punchline? I haven't been really keeping up with Punchline, but I guess that's her real persona and her Punchline persona. After the Joker War, Punchline stands alone. So cool cover. I like the perspective. And as for the content of the book, spinning out of the pages of Joker War comes the first solo book starring blockbuster new character Punchline. As she faces the consequences of her role in Joker War, the story of how Alexis Kay became Punchline will take Leslie Tompkins, Harper Row, and Cullen Rowe in a harrowing journey that reveals a fringe teenager's radicalization to the ideology of a madman. It's a terrifying tale so big it demands an oversized special. So how many pages is this? 48 pages, $4.99. It's a good price. Then we got the blank covers, which I don't love. Then we've got one of these other variants over here. It's pretty fun. Alright, moving on. What else is good? The Superman 27 cover looks epic. Let's look at that for a moment. We'll move on to the other publishers in just a moment. What do you all like? What's your favorite publisher or character or plot line or whatever? That's an epic cover. Who did that? That was Tony Daniel and Danny Mickey. Yeah, she's the new Joker sidekick. That's the main thing that I know about her. I haven't really been reading it. Oh, look at this one. This Joshua Middleton Wonder Woman 766 cover. Oh, I love that. She's like soaring in the air, free as a bird. I love the shiny parts, the clouds. I wonder if that's a photo actually. That looks really cool, like realistic clouds. This is one of the variants for Wonder Woman 766. I like that cover. Plot: Count Vertigo does not like to be treated like a joke. Or maybe he does. He's kind of insane after all. When Lord Industries' psychic super tech amps up the Count's armies to deadly new heights, Wonder Woman sustains injuries that she may never recover from. Probably mental injuries, right? Those are the only injuries that a superhero has a hard time recovering from. I know I do. But never fear, the reformed Maxwell Lord has Diana's back, and as Diana will find out, he's not afraid to stick a knife in it. So yeah, that's the new book. That one's coming out on the 10th. Final order cutoff for tomorrow. Very sweet cover indeed. So those are the DC comics that are coming out. This is a cardstock cover. Mariko Tamaki is doing the writing. Oh, she's working on that. I know she was working on Hulk, She-Hulk, a few years ago and other things. Doesn't she also work on Monstress? Or is that someone else? And then Steve Pugh is regular arted, and then cover is Middleton. Another amazing Middleton cover. So those were the DC books. Let's go look at the other publishers, as we do on the show. And again, usually I have all of the ones that I want already picked out, but this time I'm doing it a little bit differently. We can all kind of explore them together. If anything stands out, let me know, but these are the ones that stand out to me. Now, usually I'm focused on issue number ones, cool covers, variant covers, interesting plots, valuable books, and so forth. So here's one of the first picks. Over here at Image, we have a brand new Kick-Ass comic. We have Kick-Ass versus Hit Girl number 1 of 5. New story arc. It's Kick-Ass versus Hit Girl. Old allies become enemies when Mindy screeches into Albuquerque to kill the imposter who's been running gangs in New Mexico. So, brand new issue number 1. The newest generation of of Kick-Ass and Hit Girl comics. This is from Image Comics. This is the regular cover. I like the action pose of it, but if you look kind of closely, Hit Girl's face looks really weird. Is that just me, or is Hit Girl's face kind of weird? Kick-Ass looks cool. And we got a bunch of variant covers as always. So we got the black and white one. We have the Scalera cover, the Arahu cover. Let's look at the Scalera cover. I think this one looks better. Yeah, I like this one way more. This is cool. It looks like watercolor. Yeah, this is a really cool cover. I like it. The roses, the contrast of the yellow and the purple. Yeah, Kick-Ass is still going. It's gone through various permutations. I haven't been reading it in a little while, so I don't know who the current Kick-Ass is, but it's this character back here. And Hit Girl, again, I haven't been reading it, but this might be a cool issue to get into because it's number 1 of 5. So it's a new story arc to get in on the brand new one. So final order cutoff is this Monday. Tell your comic shops. That's what the show's all about. These are the comics that are coming out very soon. Tell your comic shops about it by Monday if you want your copy. So this comes out November 11th. Okay, so Marked. I have not been reading this one, but this cover stood out to me. And I just love this cover. Come on. A cute redhead, blue eyes, tattoos. Just a very focused cover. Brian Haberlin is the artist. I gotta go back and read issue 1. Or this is already issue 9. Never mind. Something Wicked, Part 2. Strange and mythic creatures are appearing in our reality, causing chaos. But why is it happening, and how do we stop it? Join the Marked and the cast of Araya in this truly magical cover. This issue will have 3 covers. Cover C is a virgin variant of cover A. So, we've got a few issues of Marked, and I like the covers. I haven't been really reading the book, but the covers are cool. What else did I see here? Okay, so Spawn, record-breaking Spawn, they have over 310 issues now, and there's some new Spawns that have come out in the Consequences of Sin storyline, necessitating reprints. So, Gunslinger Spawn is one of the newest Spawns. This is already going to 3rd printing. I have the 1st printing, but not with the Gunslinger cover. Let me just check here. What are the other covers? 309. Which 309 do I have? I know I have it, but I don't remember which cover I have. Maybe I've got this one? Pretty epic cover there. But anyway, Gunslinger Spawn has been pretty big hit. So first appearance, I guess, is going over here to third printing. I got first printing and second printing, and third printing is coming soon. So if you're into it for the story, get this book so you can catch up. What's this new spawn? If you're into it for the collectability of it, get this book, because nowadays everyone wanted the first print of a comic, especially the introduction of a character. But nowadays, actually, second printings, third printings, etc., printings are also starting to get there in some value. And then even like going off to like fifth and sixth printings. Back in the day, a sixth printing was like, that's toilet paper. But nowadays, because of the collectors and the nostalgia of things and FOMO, even like fifth printings are getting pretty valuable. So I always point out these subsequent printings for people if they didn't read the original and so forth. I just picked up Strange Academy third or fourth printing a couple of days ago. I wasn't able to get first printing, even though I mentioned it in this podcast, in this series, but follow my own advice sometimes. All right, moving on to Dark Horse. The Bill and Ted comic. This is the prequel to the movie. Bill and Ted Are Doomed, issue number 3. So Evan Dorkin is the writer. I love his work on Milk and Cheese. Roger Langridge is the regular artist, and here's the Evan Dorkin cover. With the launch of their world music tour in chaos, Bill and Ted managed to escape a rioting death metal festival. Looks like Death Clock ripoff. Only to be marked for death by the insane leader of an evil metal band. With thousands of evil metal fans on a wild hunt for our heroes, can the Wild Stallion survive long enough to write the one song on tour and save the future? So it's a direct sequel to... So it's a sequel to Bogus Journey Part 2, and it's a prequel to Face the Music Part 3. Comes in by Evan Dorkin and Roger Langridge. So issue number 3 coming soon. It would have been better that the series was out completely before the new Bill and Ted movie, I would say. But for whatever reason, it's coming out afterwards, but that's okay. So that one's coming out. So we have Resident Alien. I think this is a sequel. I remember there was another Resident Alien series. I'm pretty sure this is a sequel. So this is Resident Alien, Your Ride's Here. Written by Gerard Way, Sean Simon. Art by I.N.J. Culbert, and this cover by Gabriel Ba. Harry's learned a lot about himself and the possibility that other aliens have been stranded on Earth too. He needs to figure out what to do with Honey, the only resident in Patience, USA, who sees him in his true alien form. Yeah, see, I do remember there was a series originally before this one. Harry's been stranded in a small town pretending to be a human doctor for so long, loneliness is bound to creep in. So, pretty cool cover here. Different than the other, like really over-the-top realistic types of covers. The logo looks cool. You have this cool owl. You have the main character alien. We have the indigenous peoples. The pole. Plus the alien character. I like that. So, why does this say Peter Hogan, Steve Parkhouse, but those names are not in the credits over here? That's weird. Yeah, that's weird. Are these credits wrong? Because then I see an SP right here for Steve Parkhouse, I suppose. Alright, moving over to IDW. Here's the G.I. Joe comic is still going, 276 issues. Larry Hama is still writing it. He was writing it back in the 80s. So he's been working on these comics, these G.I. Joe comics on and off for 35 years. Originally over at Marvel Comics and now at IDW. Not sure if this started with issue number 1 when IDW got it, or did they start it like at a number. I'm just curious right here. Let me see how far back this goes. This only goes back up to 156 in 2010. But I am not sure if G.I. Joe started with when they started it at IDW at 1 or what. Anyone know? So here's one from nearly 10 years ago. Alright, so it still trips me out that IDW publishes like the younger generation of Marvel Comics characters. Here we have Marvel Action, so it's their imprint for younger readers. And here we have Chillers, Jeremy Whitley and Sweeney Boo working on this. The chilling grip of the ancient Darkhold threatens the Marvel heroes, and it's up to Doctor Strange and Ironheart, Riri Williams, to save the day. But there's more to this terrifying mystery as our heroes follow the twisted trail the Darkhold leaves behind, discovering its lost stories full of scares. This is a bi-weekly comic for October. Several publishers are doing like October Halloween-specific books this month. And here's one by IDW. So issue number 1 of 2 for this month. Gotta go, getting set to do. Yeah, no worries. I'll be here looking at more books. All right, so any fans of Voyager? There's a brand new Voyager miniseries, 4 issues. This is Voyager 7's Reckoning. This is by Dave Baker and Angel Hernandez. After Voyager encounters a damaged ship deep in the Delta Quadrant, what at first seems to be a simple repair mission becomes much deeper as 7 of 9 becomes involved in an ancient conflict that will pull her newfound humanity to the test. From the writer David Backer from Action Hospital, F Squad, Star Trek Waypoint, and artist Angel Hernandez, who did Picard Countdown and Star Trek Green Lantern. So I like that cover, but I always pick the photo covers. Photo covers are a bit rarer than drawings. So I'm gonna pick up the photo cover right here with Jerry Ryan herself. Looks a little blurry. They should have gotten a less blurry photo of her. But that's cover B for the brand new miniseries Star Trek Voyager. I'm more of a Deep Space Nine fan, and I'm picking up the Deep Space Nine miniseries, but I'll pick this one up from Voyager. Let's go over to Marvel Comics. Spider-Man, issue 52, legacy number 853, I believe. I'm going with this Jeffrey Verege cover. This shows the full range of comic art, right? We saw like the realistic stuff, like the Middleton stuff. We saw, Alex Ross. But then here we have this style that is completely cartoony, completely stylized, completely non-mainstream. I love the variety of comic art, and this is just a really cool cover. It's almost like stained glass. It's very mannered. It's very stylized. What do you all think of this kind of cover? There's a couple more of these that Marvel is doing, but here's the Spider-Man one. There's a bunch of regular covers as well. Then we've also got the miniseries, the Last Remains miniseries. Got a lot of reprints and trade paperbacks of classic stuff. Here's the other one. Here's an Iron Man number 3. They rebooted Iron Man again recently. Here's another Verege cover. This is another one of these, like, wow, this, like, what is even the style of this? I'm sure it's got a name, and it's not Art Deco. It's way too bright and colorful, but it feels also like indigenous people's style to some degree. Very geometric, very nice. So I like how it's also like an airbrushed quality to some parts, flat colors on other parts. Really cool cover. So, speaking of Alex Ross, we have issue number 2 of Marvel, 2 of 6, written by Alex Ross. Another artist extravaganza overseen by the master Alex Ross. In this issue, the X-Men old and new grapple with the swelling of their ranks in a story by Dan Brereton. The Thing, Spider-Man, and Doctor Doom contend for the most coveted object on the planet in a tale by Eric Powell, who worked on The Goon, of course. And the Vision pushes himself to the limit in order to save a life in the adventure by Paolo Rivera, all wrapped in a framing sequence painted by Ross and scripted by Steve Darnall. So cool cover there. I like how they've got all of the various logos of all of the various classic Marvel characters. Alex Ross art for this character. I don't quite recognize the character, unfortunately. But yeah, Alex Ross book 2 of 6. You can still probably get issue 1 at your shops. Marvel's Voices #1, new printing. So when I was reading this, I didn't quite get it. I don't know when this came out previously. I don't know if it's a second printing or what. It says new printing. 40 pages, one shot. Marvel's Voices reveals the world outside your window with a superpowered new printing. Features stories from some of the world's biggest stars from all walks of entertainment. This is the world outside your window, and it's a can't miss issue. So Vita Ayala, Brian Stelfreeze, and more writers. Stelfreeze and more artists, and this is the Kari Randolph cover. So $4.99 for 40 pages. Marvel, what is wrong with you? Usually they're charging $9.99 for anything more than the usual pages. So snap that one up. What else did I see? So new Darth Vader. This is a pretty cool cover. Greg Pak writer, Raffaello Ienco, Daniel Acuna. Pain leads to anger. Anger leads to an element from episode 19. As Darth Vader, battered and broken by the Emperor, is punished for his rebellion, drags himself across the blasted surface of Mustafar with vengeance on his mind. But can he survive the onslaught of a certain mysterious Sith assassin? And how will this world change when he learns his enemy's greatest secret? So this is obviously taking place during the original trilogy. Something about him being punished by the Emperor. Very cool cover. Got some reprints of some introduction of Beta Ray Bill, introduction of Valkyrie, introduction of Black Panther. These are all just $1. Yep, so those, a lot of facsimile editions coming out as well. Now, what's the difference? What's the difference between the Marvel True Believer $1 reprint versus the facsimile edition? Money, of course, because this is $3.99 where the other one is $1. I guess facsimile edition is exactly recreated with the original ads and everything. So it's like the original, it's the original issue #4. Except for the price, I guess. They put the regular price instead of 12 cents. And then on the True Believer ones, they do change it somehow. It doesn't have the original ads and such, I think. So yeah, what's the difference between True Believer and facsimile? Besides price. Next up, let's go to Dynamite. Okay, so we've got this brand new Dynamite miniseries going on. It's like a zombie-focused thing. So they're doing their zombie. Dynamite is doing their zombie thing after deceased. So they've got their own. Oh, Fred Van Lent. I know him from the History of Comic Books comic. Lucio Perillo cover looks always pretty amazing, but horrific. Then we've got these other ones. The Soydom homage cover from the original Marvel Zombies. And of course a cosplay cover. So I'm definitely picking up the cosplay cover. I think a very accurate Vampirella. The hair, the expression, the outfit. Pretty cool background, realistic background. I would have liked it like full body, including the boots and everything, but still very cool. And this is number 2 of 6, I believe. How many of them are there? 2 of 5, yeah. And then we've got a Red Sonja version. Hilarious. The guy's taking a selfie while his brains are being devoured by by a zombified Red Sonja. Yeah, Soidem really cornered the market on these grotesque, realistic zombie covers. Alright, Boom Studios, we've got a new number 1 over here, a new Power Rangers number 1. This is the Danielle Di Nicuolo. I like that cover, very action focused. Actually, wait a minute, this says number 1. But this is 57 over there. Yeah, that cover's wrong, right? Because this is number 1 and that's number 1. So what's that about? Hey there. Yeah. So anyway, not sure about why those 2 different covers, but anyway, here's a new issue number 1 of Power Rangers. Any Power Rangers fans? I watched the original back in the 90s. And haven't seen it in a long time, but I know that Boom has been publishing Power Rangers books for a few years now. And that's a new number 1 there. They've also been teaming up with the Ninja Turtles. So here's a trade paperback that collects a bunch of the books. Power Rangers meet Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Black and White edition. Yeah, let me pay you more money and take away the color. Like, that doesn't make sense. If the original were black and white, then I would pay that for the collection. But, like, what's the deal with... I guess if we read it, because it says over here, collects the hard-to-find Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Ninja Turtle number 1 black and white, along with the never-before-released Mighty Morphin number 2 through 5 black and white editions. So 5 issues, black and white. Well, I guess that's interesting. So Ryan Parrott is the writer, Simeon DeMeo is the artist, and the cover artist here is Dan Mora. So who would win, Power Rangers versus Ninja Turtles? I think the answer is obvious. We have... So I've been reading the new series, We Only Find Them When They're Dead. Issue number 3 is coming out soon. Captain Malik and the crew of the Vihan 2 are trapped in warp space, as they're pursued by the mysterious government agent Richter. They have 2 choices, drop out of warp, speed, and risk being destroyed by Richter, or stay in warp until their engines explode from overheating. Who will survive long enough to discover a living god? So what this series is about is, it takes place in the future. Humanity is basically scavengers, and we are scavenging the corpses of dead gods at the edge of the universe. So literally these bodies of gods, humanity, cuts the flesh off and the metal from their armor and so forth and scavenges off of them. Well, the series here is about, do the gods still live? And then the main characters are trying to find one. So art is really cool. So I love those covers, but then also the interior art. Look at this art. It's so... This is in the year 2337. This is so beautiful art. Very luminous. Just over the top, but not in a bad way. Over the top computer colorization. But I'm here for it. Just those colors and those panel layouts look very cool. Expressions and posing and anatomy and everything. Yeah, I've been enjoying this book. I got issue 1, and I think I got a second print as well of issue 1. Number 3 is coming soon. And some of these covers, when they show the gods, they look really cool. All right, moving over to the rest of the publishers. Is issue number 2, so you might still be able to pick up issue number 1. We've got American Ronin. This is over at AWA. This is a new publisher, relatively new publisher, that's been putting out some interesting things, like Year Zero. What's it called? Year Zero, the zombie book. So we have Peter Milligan and Ako as the artist. War is over, democracy an illusion. Real power now lies not with nation-states, but with huge corporations engaged in a silent war of global domination. Their number one weapon, highly skilled, technologically enhanced operatives trained since childhood to pledge their allegiance to the corporate flag. But what happens when one such operative breaks free of his mental chains and decides to bring the whole system down? Can one Ronin make a difference? So that is a masterless samurai. That's what a Ronin is. And this is issue number 2, coming soon. I like the cover, just like very simple tones. Issue number 1. Issue number 1 just came out last week. You might still be able to get a copy or a reorder. There's issue number 1. Interior art. Looks good. This modern style, very detailed, very cool panel layouts. Oh, I see we have bad words. Move and I shoot, mother effer. Piece of fluff, who are you? So, yeah, looks like cool interior art as well. The covers definitely stand out if we look at them right here. These just like Paper Girl-esque covers. And then issue number 3 coming out eventually. You can pre-order that right now as well. That's a really cool cover as well. So I kind of wish the interior art were this stylized, but from what I saw in the preview, the interior art still looks good. Professional and modern and such. That still looks very cool art. What else? Okay, I got a new issue number 1 here. If you're into the Zeniscope genre, David Friancini and Nelly Jimenez. Belle is a beast hunter, a legacy passed down from her mother to daughter in her family for generations. With that duty, she has taken on many different kinds of creatures to protect her world from the unknown, and who equally wanted to end her life. From centaurs and aurents to Medusa herself, Belle has stood between them and innocent lives. In her past, she has even taken on a minotaur. But this time something is different, and Belle is going to learn a long-lost secret about this race of monsters, even if it kills her. Stand back, but don't miss this new action-packed issue. Okay, so Zeniscope has cornered the market on the sexy fairy tales genre. They take all of the classic Grimm's fairy tales and Robert Louis Stevenson tales and all those classic fairy tales, and they put a sexy spin on it for the 21st century. So issue number 1 coming soon. This is the Jimenez cover, and there's a few other covers. Look at this one. Here's the Minotaur. So like a totally cyber-tech Minotaur. Pretty cool. Classic 3-point pose. Everything wrecked in the background. Hey, there we have a Stormbreaker. And cool red eyes and the little hair. So that's a new number 1 coming out. So the series Black, which is coming to streaming platforms or something, was a series that came out a few years ago, where it's a world where only black people can have superpowers, no one else. And what does that mean for society, for culture, for people? So here is Black AF, Widows and Orphans. This is a trade paperback. Chillingly prophetic, telling the tale of the children of superpowered people being torn away from their parents and sold on the black market. In a world where only black people have superpowers, what price do they fetch on the black market? From the pages of Black, this new story features Anansi and Hoodrat investigating a human trafficking ring that will take them across the globe and bring them face to face with the dark pasts of abuse, child soldiers, and families torn apart. Collects issues 1 through 4. This is coming from Black Mask. $16.99. That's a good price. And very cool cover. Kari Randolph again here. Interiors by Tim Smith. And then Kwanzaa Osayefo is the writer. So that's a cool collection. So the Dune series has a comic book from Boom. Here's issue number 1 of 12, second printing. If you go back to the first printing, we'll get a little bit of synopsis. Anyone watching the Dune series? Anyone hyped for the new Dune series? So we have set in the years leading up to the Hugo and Nebula award-winning Dune, which inspired the upcoming feature film, Dune House of Atreides, transports readers to the far future on the desert planet Arrakis, where Pardo Kynes seeks its secrets. So, yeah, this is a new Dune comic. Brian Herbert, Kevin Anderson as writers, Dev Pramenak as artist, and this cover by Jay Lee. I've been seeing Jay Lee's work recently again. I feel like he took off a lot of time. He was hot in the 90s, and then kind of disappeared for a long time, unless I never noticed, and now he's kind of back doing a lot of covers. This one's interesting. You can get the complete Peach Momoko covers for Horizon Zero Dawn. It's a whole bundle, all 4 issues of Peach Momoko's covers. She's an artist that's like the #1 breakout artist of 2020, and this collects all of the issues with her art, and it's all for $29.99. So this will probably be a pretty good pickup, pretty good investment. Let me see if I can see these other covers. Here we go. So some a little bit more realistic than the others in Peach's style, which I really like. I try to get her books whenever I can. They're always very cool covers to look at, usually get pretty valuable, and they're usually attached to some interesting books. So you can get all 4 with code SEP201480. Tell your comic shops VM Campos sent you. Here's a new series, Miskatonic, #1. This is from Aftershock. Miskatonic Valley holds many secrets. Cultists worshipping old gods, a doctor dead set on resurrecting the recently deceased, a house overrun by rats in the walls, but none more recent than a series of bombings targeting the valley's elite. These horrors reach a breakpoint when the brilliant, hard-nosed investigator Miranda Keller is sent to stop the bombings. To J. Edgar Hoover, there can be no other explanation than those responsible for the similar actions during the Red Scare of the 1920s. So we got Mark Sable, Giorgio Pontrelli, cover art by Jeremy Hahn and Nick Filardi. So it's kind of a cool mixture of crime plus eldritch horror, H.P. Lovecraft sort of thing. Issue #1, Aftershock. They published a lot of cool things. I like their Animosity book a lot. Okay, so here's one of these books for the collection of value. 7 Secrets #1, 4th printing. So, Boom Studios, to my knowledge, doesn't publish like multiple printings of a book. So, if you're into reading an issue #1, if you're into cool covers, if you're into collecting variants and printings, this fits all the boxes. 4th printing. Oh, if you're also into low print run comics, 4th printing from Boom Studios. I bet this is like a 2,000 print run or less at 4th printing. Of this series, which has been popular. So if we go back to what's the synopsis. For fans of Once and Future, an Undiscovered Country, comes an all-new original series from New York Times best-selling author Tom Taylor and artist Daniel di Nicolo, about 7 powerful secret words, wonders, weapons, and worse, with the power to change the world. So, yep, that's 4th printing of that, coming soon. We also have 2nd printing of number 3, and so forth. Something is Killing Children, 2nd printing number 9. We have an annual from Van Helsing, another Zenescope thing. So again, it's, you know, the sexy versions of classic horror and fairy tale tropes, but it's an annual. I usually like those because they're self-contained. Don't miss the first ever Van Helsing annual issue that is oversized at 64 pages, packed with wall-to-wall action and horror, not to be missed. So I'm sold on that. Pretty cool cover. It doesn't look like it's final because it doesn't have any trade dress. I doubt it's a virgin cover. But this is the Vitorino cover of their first annual. Hey there, welcome back. We are looking at a few more books over here. And actually we're moving over to the toys section of things. So we have the Lady Beetlejuice statue from Kotobukiya. They do their shoujo style of statues, and here's Lady Beetlejuice. So very affordable at $144, but really cool, realistic. Like, look at the ruffles on the shirt, and like the little watch and thing, and even like the stripes on the outfit, and she's holding the book, the handbook of the recently deceased. Very cool hair. Oops. So yeah, there's that. Sitting on a little tombstone and everything. Cool boots. Could have done a better Photoshop job of removing her from the background, but there we go. That's cool. Anubis, Guardian of the Underworld. This looks cool as well. Let's get a close-up. That is so realistic. Look at that detail in the muscles, the clothing, and everything. We can get some other poses over here. You can change the various aspects. Cool staff. The ankh and the hands and everything. Very nice. A more rabid expression. $95. Here's the Thomas Wayne Batman. So in this alternate reality, it was Bruce Wayne's mother and Bruce Wayne that died in that alley. Bruce Wayne's father, Thomas Wayne, was the one that lived, which then turned him into a dark, twisted Batman in that reality. First appearance... When did he first appear? Was it Batman 666? Yeah, I think it was Batman 666. Or was that Damian Wayne? Anyway, so yeah, this is the Thomas Wayne Batman. Much more brutal than the current Batman. And then they have met throughout dimensions, so that's interesting. That one is $139. Welcome back as well. Here we have... Like, this is cool in that it's so realistic, but like, not to put anyone down, but like, who would collect this? It's like, yeah, it's like very realistic, and it's exactly like from the movie and such, but I don't know, like, it looks way too much like Darth Vader. I guess if you're really, really, really into Dune, you'll collect this, but you know, I marvel at the quality of it, the realism and everything. But I guess the only thing is, well, he's got the seam to turn his neck that breaks the illusion, I guess. But everything else looks pretty cool, pretty realistic. This is from McFarlane Toys. You have a bunch of like dioramas that you can build. Sure. What else? There's a million of them this month. So we've got from Fate, Acrafia, comes the figure, Black Fraction, in casual clothes, $149, fully posable. That's cute. So this is the style, this the Figma style of things with the articulation and the hands and everything, so that's pretty cool. And we have a whole selection of these cute Funko Pops. We have the Joker as Santa Claus. We have Harley Quinn, the Flash as Rudolph, Santa Joker, and Scrooge Batman. So I don't know how I feel about these. I don't know how I feel like when they try to make Batman cute. Here we have Batman as Scrooge. I don't love that one, but I like the other ones. Okay, gotta run. See you later. Thanks for hanging out. We're here every Saturday at 1 p.m. Hope to see you again next time. So yeah, I don't know how I don't love the Batman one, but the other ones are fine. Flash is funny. Oh, we have the Goblin Slayer. Oh, this is one of these new 2D ones that is basically a stand-up with a base. Yeah, it's these 2D. That's kind of cool. I haven't been. These are pretty new, right? These have not really existed until very recently. So they're always trying different things to try for new collectibles. So that's cool. Here is a from Furyu. The wild and cute Hatsune Miku bunny girl has appeared. Virtual pop idol. That's cute. It's only $24.99. Pretty cool quality. The stockings, the fishnet stockings, and the hair and the expression. $24.99. Wow, compared to these other ones that are pretty high price, that's cool to see a variant that's not that expensive. Ooh, here's some Tamagotchi. Hello Kitty Tamagotchi. So, yep. Hello Kitty, Tamagotchi is back in Hello Kitty form. Bunch of cool Iron Man from Beast Kingdom. These are 3-inch tall. It's not that big. It's like that tall right there, something like that. It's about 3 inches or so. It's not that big, but they still look pretty well detailed. And it's a bunch of them. Here's the various marks, Mark 30, etc. Oh, here's some Junji Ito acrylic 2D figures. So in this style again of the 2D stand-ups. Gaka. We'll look at a couple more as we wind down. Actually, I think we'll wind down right here. We've been streaming for an hour now. Yeah, let's end right here. Some Kingdom Hearts Chip and Dale from Square Enix and Kingdom Hearts. It's Chip and Dale as fun and huggable plush in their costumes from Kingdom Hearts 3, with amazing details put into every part with cute emblem printed smocks and gloves. $59. If I only wanted to buy Dale, can I get it for half price? So yeah, really fun, really cute. That's a perfect way to end this week's stream. We looked at a variety of comics from Marvel, DC, Image, etc. We wrapped up with a few toys and collectibles. There's still plenty more to check out, but I think an hour stream is a good amount to get you hyped up for the new comics that are coming out soon. Don't forget, these comics, if you want to order them, and even these collectibles, final order cutoff date is this Monday, the 19th. Contact your local comic shop. Have them reserve these for you to be guaranteed your own copy. The catch is that the DC comics that I showed, the final orders are due tomorrow by midnight. So the DC books are due on Sundays, the DC pre-orders are due on Sundays, and everything else pre-orders are due on Mondays. So I do my shows on Saturdays to make you aware of what's coming soon so that you can pick up your own copy and not miss out. FOMO is a terrible thing. If you're watching the video, if you're here on the stream live, thank you so much for coming to hang out. I do it every single Saturday. I really appreciate when people come and hang out and we talk about comics and collectibles and such. If you're watching the video after the fact, don't forget to check down on the description for the various chapter stops to jump to the different publishers that you're into. This has been VM Campos, and I'll see you next week.